Hello, everyone. I'm a weeb,
And I'm a nerd.
and this is a word podcast. Today, we're going to talk about Harry Potter. Because why not?
What specifically are we starting with today, sir? And
Well,
Harry
today,
Potter.
did you mostly watch the movies or read the books?
I have seen the movies. We all know that reading's boring.
Well, I guess I'm boring because I read the books and watched the movies.
Also fair.
So, out of the seven, well, there's 8 movies, right? Because
Isn't it?
the seventh was in two-parters.
Yeah, technically 7, technically 8.
Yeah.
Potato, potato.
But which movie was your favorite?
It's a good question. Maybe the Goblet of Fire, if I have to
Goblet
say.
of Fire.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good choice. It was an alright movie.
Oops.
My favorite was it's either the Half-Blood Prince or the Prisoner of Azkaban.
So pretty good choices there. If I do say so myself. Well, you said it yourself, but
So the first movie I think was a good, they did a really good start, and I think they had perfect casting. That's what really made the movies great. I think was because they really nailed the characters. Minus Harry for me, I felt like I really like Daniel Radcliffe as Harry Potter up until book 6, because in the books Harry's a lot more assertive and a lot more outspoken. Daniel Radcliffe was kind of more sheepish and meek, in my opinion, especially in the fifth and sixth movie. That's my only gripe. I don't care that much. It's just like a little, oh, that's a interesting, character choice that they made.
if I have to be completely honest with you, I think the only reason I like Harry Potter so much is because who doesn't like magic? Everyone
True.
likes magic. The illusion
I mean,
that something happens when it realistically doesn't.
magic makes everything easier.
It really does. I think I'm more of a fan of Harry Potter for the magic part. Obviously, I love the movies. I really do, and the story and all that.
Yeah.
I was too busy nerding out on all the magic.
I like because they have stuff magic where all the dishes are done automatically. You can use magic to fix your clothing. You can use magic to whip up random ass food.
You have magic to make magic to do stuff.
Right? So it's like,
You have
you know,
magic that can run a magic shop.
but can you imagine how lazy society would be if we had magic?
No,
If it was that easy?
know how awesome it would be at the same time, though.
Yeah, but think about like our society as a whole, and think about if we put magic into the mix.
The world would not be magical anymore.
Nope. We would go straight into Armageddon.
Would we all still have cars, or would we all just like fly?
See, that's the interesting thing that they also don't delve much into the movies. In the books, they state that electronics don't work well around magic. That's why they don't have computers or phones or anything. Is because the magical energy that's in like Hogwarts and all that, it it conflicts with the electricity and computers and stuff. So you can't really use computers around magic.
So what I'm hearing is the internet companies just couldn't figure out how Hogwarts works.
Basically.
Okay.
Also, like in our society today, all of our electronic cars would not probably work in a magic society. But all the old cars, who didn't rely on computer chips and all that, those probably still work fine. Because that's the mechanical thing rather than electrical.
I think I'd be more happy just flying around on a broomstick, honestly.
Same.
Probably surfing on a broomstick.
I wonder, because I think it stated also in the books how there's other countries that use different forms. Like, some use rugs to fly. Something is like, why did they only use brooms? I want to see like a muggle born get a surfboard and use that to fly around.
Yo, nice surfboard. Where'd you come from? I came from Hawaii.
I'm from Hawaii. Holo holo.
You got wizards from Alaska pulling up the Hogwarts with sled dogs. Where'd you come from? The mountains of Alaska.
Man, you guys don't got too much good snow around here.
Are your dogs magical too? They're here, aren't they? Well, you're not wrong.
Dogs start talking.
Can you imagine if animals entered the world, the magic world, or even just Hogwarts itself, and gained the ability to talk?
That would be pretty cool, to be honest.
Right. Although then all the what are they even called? Like Harry's owl and all that, all the animals. Do they have a name? A specific like role? I don't remember exactly.
Well, Harry's owl's named Hedwig.
Right, but I mean the animals themselves. Did they have like an official like label to them? Because they send out the animal or owls to the potential magic people, and then they accept it, and then they keep the pet as their pet, right?
What?
Harry was sent an owl.
Yeah.
And an invitation. He got to keep the owl. Does everyone in Hogwarts have an owl? Or do they all have different animals?
He bought an owl.
Did he?
Yeah, Hagrid bought Harry Hedwig.
Oh, maybe I haven't. Maybe it has been a while since I've seen the movies.
Yeah, so in the first movie, for a birthday present for Harry, Hagrid bought Hedwig for him.
Right.
So they have pet shops where you can go out and buy a pet.
That's right. I remember now. I really should rewatch the movies.
Yeah.
Probably should.
Maybe.
It's about a good amount. It's about a good time to do so.
Yeah. I mean, they're good movies. As much as people like to hate on them, because that's the fad nowadays.
I say you can hate on the author, but don't hate on the movies.
Yeah.
So I think as far as I know, it's just the author that has the issues. It's not the movies themselves.
Yeah, and that's what makes it hard, because we love the story, but when the author becomes problematic, it's hard to show support for that series, because then it's like, oh, so you're supporting this terrible author. It's like, not really. I just like the story.
Fair. Who wrote and directed what's it called? It's like the sequel prequel
Oh, the Fantastic Beasts?
Yeah, that one.
So J.K. Rowling wrote the screenplay.
Okay.
I don't remember who the director is, but I have given up those movies mainly because I did not really like the second movie that much. I loved the first one. The first one was really good.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't like Crimes of Grindelwald that much. I also don't like how the studio completely screwed over Johnny Depp. I mean, it's nice that he still gets paid for the movie.
Right.
But how they treated him, I don't like.
No, that's fair. I remember when Fantastic Beasts first came out. They had the trailer for the first movie.
Right.
Again, as a nerd for magic and whatnot, I was so excited, especially when I heard at the end it was like what did they say, like the same author as this movie or that movie. When I heard it was connected to Harry Potter,
Mm-hmm.
I was just like, oh, I obviously have to watch this. What was it like? It was before Hogwarts, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Was it a prequel sequel kind of? Like it's
not sequel. It's a prequel. It's not really a prequel. It's the set.
You see what I mean? Prequel
it's the
sequel
set before the Harry Potter. So it's in the I forget what time period it's in, but it's in actually let me look that up right now.
Why is the first thing that came to mind 60 years?
Well, Dumbledore's in it, so
True.
it can't be that far further back from it.
While you're looking that up, I have a wizarding question not related to Harry Potter. Do wizards have the option to live forever?
Well, see, that's the whole thing with Voldemort. He was trying to achieve immortality through, Horcruxes and, dark magic.
But is there a legal way to do it?
There was one... in the books and movie, there's only one legal way that it was achieved, and that was through the Sorcerer's Stone or Philosopher's Stone, if you want to get technical.
Or some piece of brightly colored magical rock.
Right. That's basically what it is. But that's the only thing that gave somebody eternal life. But it wasn't. It wasn't exactly eternal life because there's. The way I see it is there were some repercussions because we see Nicholas Flamel in Crimes of Grindelwald, and he was very frail and old. He couldn't really do much. So he's like, "Do you really want to live forever like that?" Because most people's thoughts of immortality is having their own like perfect body forever.
Yeah. That's always been the downside to immortality as a whole.
Yeah.
Is what because there's many different ways to describe many different things. And that one way of immortality is the one way of describing immortality. It's sure you may look the same at whatever age you are, but you still age, which means your body and your bones still age as well, but you don't technically die because you're immortal. You just continue to grow. Or you could go, the more nicer way of just staying your age and staying healthy forever.
Yeah.
The more peaceful way, but
Yeah, so the Fantastic Beasts that's set in 1926, so it's the 1920s,
okay.
which is what I thought it was, but I wanted to make sure.
Only accuracy on this channel, on this podcast.
Yeah, we don't want to spread misleading information, but if we do, we're sorry.
Unless it was intentional, and then we're not sorry.
Yeah.
Did you know that apples are bananas?
I thought they were oranges.
No, I thought they were bananas.
What about strawberries?
They're blueberries.
Oh. I thought they were blackberries.
No, they're green berries.
Alright.
I win. I think I won that one.
That's how you win arguments with people. You confuse them.
I'm really good at confusing people.
So, anyways, so in Fantastic Beasts, I think the thing that I really liked about the first movie was that it was just a guy trying to get an animal back to its homeland, and it was fun, it was entertaining, and then the second movie just kind of drifted from that and just went straight into Big Bad Grindelwald, and it didn't seem cohesive to me.
I mean, that's fair. That's a fair observation.
Like, I get the movie's called The Crimes of Grindelwald.
Mm-hmm.
I just wish there was more fluidity in the movie.
I think my favorite part of the movie. This is kind of going for both, but more towards when the first one came out.
Yeah.
I think my favorite part was this is gonna be so like 180 from your observations. My favorite thing was the suitcase.
Oh,
The fact that you could not only the fact that it was magical, but the fact that you could switch it to be normal.
Yeah,
was
that
really
was
good.
clever.
I like that a lot.
I like the suitcase, and I like the fact that there's like a little shack for you to go into it, so it's not like you're just dropping straight down into the lion's den. You just you actually go in a place.
I like whenever like the briefcase goes crazy because one of the magical animals decides to bust on the door. Everyone's like, "What's in the suitcase?" I was like, "Oh, I'll show you." He switches it real quick and see it's just nothing in there. Just, it's just crazy.
Yeah.
You're seeing things.
Which of the magical beasts and Fantastic Beasts was your favorite?
Oh God, what's his name? The little.
The Niffler?
Yeah, Niffler.
Yeah.
I love him. I love all.
I think that's everybody's favorite.
I love all his I love all those short little antic scenes they have with him.
I liked when he was in the jewelry store, and then Newt spotted him, and they just looked at each other, and Niffler just starts stuffing slowly back in his belly.
That's very good. Niffler is a good comedic effect.
Yeah.
And I like how at the start of the movie they introduced not only did they introduce Niffler, but they also introduced Niffler to a grand scheme of, oh no, he's escaped at the bank. Like
With
the one,
a bunch of gold.
yeah, the one place you don't want him to escape at is the first place he escapes to in the movie.
And then when he starts turns him over and dumps out all the coins.
This rat stole my money. All right, I got you. Start shaking. Is any of that your money? No, keep going. It was a ring. All right, I got you. Keep shaking. It keeps piling out. How much does that thing hold?
Endless.
You just don't say anything. Just start shaking again, and he keeps emptying. He's like a money hungry Kirby.
That's a good analogy. I like that.
With endless space in his pockets.
Pouch.
Sure. He has a space pouch.
What's the difference between a pouch and a pocket?
One is in front, one's on the side.
I guess so, yeah. Mystery solved.
There we go. Mystery solved. Myth busted.
I missed that show.
It's true.
Okay, so back to the Harry Potter movie. What house would you say you would be in?
Hufflepuff, probably.
Hufflepuff.
I don't remember exactly which house has what sort of personality. I just always remember Hufflepuff being kind of a
The leftovers.
yeah, a little more the gentle of the four, probably. Over the free caring. Or
The main attributes of each house was Gryffindor was bravery.
Nope.
Slytherin is cunning. Ravenclaw is intelligence. And
Definitely not.
Hufflepuff is loyalty.
Yeah, I have more loyalty than everything else.
I would be probably in Ravenclaw. One, because that's what I was sorted to in Pottermore, and two, I don't want to say I'm super intelligent, but I do know how to get by. And I was pretty good in school. Like I'm gonna be honest, I did not study at all in school, and I still got A's.
I mean, same. I was that kid who would study like a whole book 5 minutes before the test started.
Oh, I didn't even do that.
Well, I didn't even do it either. I just skimmed it. I didn't have time to read a whole.
I didn't even skim it. I just went straight into the test and got an A.
I mean, I've done that too, and honestly, for me, it's easy to do when you take the normal classes. It doesn't require all that much extra attention.
One thing I was funny about me is that my teachers kept asking why I wasn't in, the advanced AP classes, and I just went, I don't know, and then they left it at that. They didn't try to oh, you should take these AP classes, or let's try to get you to move forward. They're like, okay, whatever. It's like I didn't think of anything but now I'm thinking it's like, huh. Maybe if somebody actually pushed me to do better.
I mean, you're not wrong. I definitely could have done better in school. It's just I'm not really a school person. I'm not really a fan of school.
I mean, there's also motivation.
Yeah.
Because we both have tons of knowledge about random stuff, like me, like Harry Potter, anime, and you have Pokemon, video games, and all that, because that's what we like, that's what we're invested in. But in school, there's not really there's always that stigma of school's boring, I don't want to be here, I don't want to learn, so we don't have the drive to do that.
See, and that's what I don't get about school either, is everyone's taught the same thing, which is fair. To be fair, there are some things, there's a lot of things in the 12 years of school that you have that you should know. There's a lot of things you should know in the 12 years of school. But at the same time, that's still maybe 10% of everything you learn in 12 years that you need to know. Most of it, if not all of it, being maybe 90% of that 10% is history, because we should all know how history goes down so we don't repeat it.
Yeah.
And then the other 10%, split in half. You have 5% for English and language arts, 5% for math. Science is somewhere in there, but at the same time, science is also uh, what you can discover, being physics, and science is also something that if you want to go into science, you should learn. You should definitely learn science. Science is fun,
Yeah.
but unless you're going into a specific field for science, you can kind of brush it off and do your own research.
True.
It's
Now, if
majority.
we had magic in school,
If we had magic in school, I would live there.
you know, that's what got me like. Because when I drive out with my mom and we go to places, we like to listen to the Harry Potter books that we have on audio tape.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're on book 5 now. But as we were listening to it, I was thinking, like, listening to how Harry describes his classes and all that. I'm thinking, wow, this is actually a terrible school. Because their history of magic class is taught by a ghost who goes rambling on and on and on, and basically continually puts the whole class to sleep, but doesn't notice. You got then the defense against the dark arts teacher changes every year. They decide what the curriculum is, and sometimes they'll have advanced stuff, and sometimes they don't. So I was like, you know, looking at these classes, this seems like a very poor school.
I mean, there was that whole debate in Fantastic Beasts about the London Magic School versus Hogwarts, wasn't it?
Well, no, the American.
Yeah, that one. There was a debate, like,
Ilvermorny.
yeah. It was like, no, the American one's better. No, Hogwarts is better. No, this and that. Well, I mean, that's also a fair thing they added to the movie, because even in reality, you have those debates over real schools, like
Right.
which one is better.
Like, get a Harvard man versus a Yale man.
Yeah, exactly.
Or woman.
Or woman, or dog. Dogs can go to college.
Didn't a dog actually go to college?
There's a town somewhere in America, somewhere here in America, that has a dog for a mayor.
Yo, I want to go there.
So
I want to live there.
anything's
Anything's
possible. Anything's possible, unless you don't want it to be. Oh
Yeah.
God, could you imagine? All the jerks and a-holes in the world if they had magic by their side?
See, that's what I was
I
talking
feel
about.
I feel like magic should be one of those things you need a license for. And not just can you handle it properly, it has to be, are you a good person?
But how would they regulate that though?
The magic government could have tracking devices on the wands.
I think we're getting into very
Very
precarious situation with that.
very dangerous waters here. I mean, it's magic. Could you not just use magic to like determine? Well, just use like a sorting hat kind of way. Not the sorting hat itself, but like the same method. You just do some magic. That'll tell you everything that they've been through, everything that they think of, and if they don't seem like they're worthy enough for the magic ability, they don't get it.
Yeah, but who would be deciding that? Because then we get into the point, what if somebody wicked gets into that position of power?
Then they will have to trick the people who's reading their minds of determination to get said magic powers. Also, who would be running it? A dog.
Like, I know you're saying this as a joke, but it's like this is like tied to like real world issues that.
Look, all I'm saying is we need to grab a random husky in America and have it run for president 2024.
Or an Akita.
That too. Or we can just have 50 different types of dogs from each state run
Or
for
we can
president.
just wipe out the human universe and just have it run by dogs.
It's a little morbid, but okay.
Isn't that why we're here?
I mean, is it though?
To be morbid? Yeah.
That's fair.
Look at the human race.
No, that's fair. That's fair.
Anyways.
Do you think there's any illegally legal magic?
What?
Magic that's legal most of the time and illegal most of the time, depending on what you're using it for.
I mean, that sounds like medication, you know?
Exactly. Do you think there's illegally legal magic? Like it's like situational, but
I mean,
not also not situational.
I can't think of any examples, but I would assume, sure, yeah.
Like you said, medication. It's legal to use it to get your medication, but it's also able. You're also able to use it illegally to get medication you don't need or more of what you need.
Yeah, then you
It's,
overdose.
exactly. It's both legal and illegal. Is there magic insurance?
That's a good question. Do they have insurance?
Did they ever say in the Harry Potter series? I mean, if you're looking at like Fantastic Beasts, for example, sure they can make people forget, kind of like a Men in Black scenario
Yeah.
or situation. But at the same time, do they need magic insurance if they just walk down the streets waving their wands and everything magically comes back together? I don't know if they do it for free, but if they do it for free, or whether they do it for free or not, it's still just walking down the street waving your wand. Everything's fixed back together in a second. There's no labor to it besides like a minute or two of walking. You know?
Yeah. Well, I don't think they fixed everything. It depends on the situation.
I mean, in the first movie, that giant blob monster crushed down like hundreds of houses, and all I did was walk down the street doing that,
No,
like
they left
fixing
the
the door.
damage. One of the houses exploded and they left the damage because muggles were already there.
Yeah, that's true.
Or no matches in America. I always thought that was stupid.
I like Muggles. Muggles sound better.
Right?
Non-magics.
Like, I get the no mag, like non magical, but it seems like a very derogatory term.
No Madge sounds so American that it's annoying.
Yeah. That's the problem with it.
Plus it started with Muggles, so everyone's used to Muggles.
Yeah.
Oops. So you can't just change something.
I mean, it didn't
After.
completely change it. I mean, it made sense, regional dialect
Right.
differences.
Right. But
But Muggle's better.
yeah, Muggles are better.
I want to see the American school, and they're just being like a Texas person coming in, and they got fucking guns.
I got one.
Can you like? Because we
Are
got
there,
like
are there regional ones?
Well, I'm just thinking like, because there's different forms of magic.
Right.
You know, you can put enchantments on, things. So couldn't they have enchanted guns and just freaking, out of 2 states away, snipe Voldemort in the head and he would never see it coming?
Would that be legal though?
I don't
Again,
I don't think anyone would complain if you shot Voldemort.
well,
in the
no,
head.
obviously not. That's the whole point of Harry Potter, the Harry Potter series. But that's what I mean. That's another scenario. You can do that legally, like if you're registered or if that's your job. But you can also do that illegally.
Yeah, if you're doing it on random.
You see what I mean? That's what I mean. The legal illegally.
See, this the other thing is that with Voldemort, they were at war, and when things go into war, laws change.
Well, I mean there is a phrase all's fair in love and war. So
Like, I remember in one of the wars in American history, there's there's a type of warfare that was banned by by everyone collective saying, okay, this is too dangerous. So in response, this is just something I heard. I don't know if it's true or not, but I've heard that's how the shotgun was invented, because the Americans are all right, we need a different kind of firepower, so they created the shotguns, which basically annihilated everybody.
I mean that sounds believable. That does sound believable.
Like, as terrible war is, it does make a lot of advancements, especially in the medical field. Because in
Also true.
the Korean War, uh, they did it they had MASH units, which was mobile army surgical hospitals. They couldn't. Their job was to get this patient stable and move them out as fast as possible. So through that, they learn, shortcut in different surgical techniques. I think the Korean War was the first time open heart surgery was invented. So there's a lot of advancements from war, but it's a huge cost.
Mm-hmm.
And that also makes me think of the magical doctors where they go healers. I want to know, like, was there ever like a Muggle born who was like the son or daughter of doctors, and they became a healer and then used, Muggle techniques with healing techniques? I want to see a side story about that.
There's a lot of different possibilities when it comes to family trees in the magic world. You could always have children who aren't magical. You can have children who are magical. You can have those children that are magical and go crazy. You can have ones that don't go crazy. Or you could just have regular muggles that go crazy.
You know what would really suck is if you're like the youngest of like 5 and they were all wizards and you're just a squib.
You're just kind of there.
Yeah, and it's like, because I think I read, it was either on Pottermore or I just heard it from someone, that squibs have to go to regular school because they don't have magic.
That's painful.
So, I don't think, man, that's gotta suck.
So how was your day at magic school? Oh, we learned this and that spell. Let me show you. Everything starts flying around. Hey, honey, how was your day at school?
I got a rock.
I got a rock. You know what we learned, Mom? What? We learned that the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. Meanwhile, stuff is still flying around in the living room.
Also, I hate my siblings.
I request to live under the stairs. I think I fit better there.
Sonny, you already live under the stairs. Just let me have this, mother.
Let me have this one thing, mother. The child gets an invitation to Hogwarts. No, I like my life better now. Here, you can take this back.
I've grown accustomed to this.
I've grown accustomed to the off-brand Potter life.
I would also like to see different, other different countries and different forms of magic, because we've had people from France and Bulgaria and America, and they all use wands.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it would be interesting to see, like, Egyptians, they use like staffs or something, or you go to Asia and they use like, it might sound stereotypical, but they incorporate magic into their martial arts and stuff.
I was thinking nunchucks. A nunchuck wand.
Nunchuck wand.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting. Bows. I think it's like in the enchants, their weapons and stuff.
Can you imagine you start swinging your nunchucks around? All right, fire this beam, and it just goes that way. Oh, wait, I gotta aim this way. Fires that way. Stop swinging it. Okay.
You know what would be cool is if you enchant the nunchucks while you're using it, like balls of fire surround you and moves with the nunchuck as you need it.
Mm-hmm. I'd like that. It's also an idea they could do for Avatar too.
That would be cool.
The only weapons we saw there, I think, were hammers and swords. So.
And fans.
True. I don't even think they had nunchucks at all, did they?
Nunchucks?
In Avatar?
No.
I think it'd be a great weapon.
Oh wait, no, we did see nunchucks at one point.
Did we?
It was in book 3 when it was the episode where Sokka finds his swordmaster.
Right.
They took him shopping first.
Yeah, I love that little scene.
Yeah.
Where he's trying out all the weapons.
Funnily enough, remember the suit of armor that Aang was in?
Mm-hmm.
That was they did a fan contest where people send in their fan art and drawings, and the winner would have been they put on the episode, and that was what the Aang in the suit of armor was.
I think it would have been awesome if Aang did somehow keep the armor throughout the whole rest of the series.
I mean, he couldn't move in it though. I did like the wind sword though. That was a cool idea. I wish
that was really cool. Mm-hmm. Used as a fire sword too. Actually, you could use it. It could just be an elemental sword.
Yeah.
I
What would
know.
have been really cool is on his staff if they had, because he has this glider part. If they also made it where, like, fan parts came out too, to where he could use it as you know to increase his airbending abilities.
Yeah,
Because he was freaking overpowered with the fans
that
in
is
the
true.
book one.
That is true. I know we saw some of it in Fantastic Beasts, how they used guns here and there. Did it have guns in Harry Potter?
No.
'Cause I'm thinking like if we're talking, I'm thinking I always had the thought of guns being in the Avatar world, but what about guns being in the magical world? You know, I'm pretty sure there were some in Fantastic Beasts, if I remember.
Were there?
Were there? I remember seeing a gun in some magical movie.
Oh, I think it was when they were in the bank, the security guards.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was the most we saw of the guns. Wizards don't need no gun.
This is neither do benders.
True.
If you have some, they say nothing's they say you can't have a more powerful gun, uh, whether you can't have a more powerful weapon than a gun, magic, bending, bombs. Actually, anything that explodes is more powerful
Well,
than a gun.
that's in terms of firepower.
Yeah, true. But you can still use You can still use magic as firepower. They literally
True.
have fire magic.
They don't use it that often, though.
You're not wrong.
Honestly, the one thing I didn't really like about the movies was how often they changed how spells work, especially with Expelliarmus, because it's just supposed to be a disarming spell,
Mm-hmm.
but in the movies they changed it up so much.
I mean, I mean, I'm trying to think of. I'm trying to think of the reason I'm thinking of. You're not wrong, but at the same time, I feel like this one. I feel like that's a little tiny detail.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't really care that much. I'm just.
Yeah. It's one of those things. It's one of those things where, oh yeah, I love that spell and I love what it does, but when they use it again, it's usually in like something in some intense scene to where they use it and
Yeah.
it does something different. You don't notice it. You don't notice it because it's in that intense moment. You're more focused on what's happening more than the spell that you like.
I mean, also,
That's being
the main
different.
thing with Expelliarmus is that since it's just a disarming spell, that's what made such a big difference with Harry compared to everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
Because he'd rather disarm you than try to just kill you, which was a big plot thing in the seventh book. Because that's how they knew who the real Harry was because he used Expelliarmus,
Mm-hmm.
which became kind of like his trademark spell, like Avada Kedavra is for Voldemort.
Wimp.
True.
Look, you can't be a good guy without being a little bad. All right.
I mean, that's kind of what they tell him later on.
What was that? What was that one spell? I think that Voldemort used. I think you just said it. The one that
Avada
just like
Kedavra.
the one that just like insta kills
Yeah.
as soon as you.
So my theory of what this, because they don't actually state what the spell does, it's just the killing curse.
Mm-hmm.
I think what it actually does is it banishes your soul from your body. That's why it was able to destroy the Horcrux in Harry, because it banished the soul out of the body and destroys it.
Right.
And that's why there's no physical, deformities that happens because of the spell. You just drop dead.
It's good.
That's my headcanon.
It's a good. It's a good can. It's a good theory. My my reason is I think they just needed some plot conflict in terms of, like you said, they need like they need an opposite from a spell that's meant to be defending. You have the spell that's used to defend from the good guy, so from the bad guy you need something that's opposite, which means instead of defending, it attacks
Yeah.
/ kills.
Also, the thing is, like, if you get, this is the worst dark wizard that's ever been in history of the Wizarding World. What's the worst spell you can give them? Just one that instantly kills.
I mean, you're not. Yeah, no. There's nothing. There's nothing more deadly for a bad guy in terms of magic than a spell that just
Kills.
kills.
Instant death.
Mm-hmm. It's like the same logic as the Grim Reaper. I mean, all he has to do is touch you.
Yeah.
Dead.
Death.
I mean, the whole point of him. The whole point of Voldemort is to be a bad guy. If he wants to kill someone, he has the power to.
And that's what he wants to do.
Exactly.
Wants to do.
That too.
Doody doo doo. So, with what's your favorite character from the Harry Potter universe?
Either Snape or Ron.
Snape?
Yeah.
Okay, from the movie standpoint, I'll understand that.
Mm-hmm.
Because in the books, he's way, way worse than he was in the
Is
movies.
he really?
Because in the movies, he just seems like, up until the last book, the last movie, he just seems like the generic teacher, or you just hate this teacher, he's just really annoying. In the book, he is abusive.
Mm.
Like, there's this one time in the book, I think it's the fourth one, where Harry and Draco go at it, and they argue, they start to fight with wands, and one of the jinxes hits Hermione in the face, and her teeth start growing.
Mm-hmm.
And then, Snape comes and starts to, berate Harry and Ron, and they're like, look what Draco did to Hermione. And he literally just is like, I see no difference. and proceeds to punish Harry and Ron and praise Malfoy, Crabbe, and Goyle.
Spoiled rich kid.
Yeah. So the book Snape is a lot worse than he is in the movies.
I kind of liked his dark side good guy attitude in the movie. I
did like the twist that came with him.
Yeah. The reason I would also say probably Ron. You got to cheer for the underdog at some point. At some point in the movie.
The problem I had with Ron in the movie was I couldn't separate him from the Ron in the book, because the Ron in the book was so much better in my opinion. Because he acted way more loyal to Harry, because he Matt Malfoy would say something snarky and calls to Harry or Hermione. Ron would straight up punch him in the face. Like, he had no problem throwing hands for his friends.
So you're one of the people who say the book's better than the movie, is what I'm hearing.
I enjoyed the books better than the movie because I enjoyed the characters more. Because the characters had these... not to say I didn't like the movies. There's just certain parts of the characters that I wish they kept in the movies. Like, for Ron, he had these points of intelligence. He had extreme loyalty and bravery that they didn't translate as well into the movies.
That's fair. The difference between movies and books as well is that movies typically last anywhere between an hour and a half to 2 hours. A book can be as long as it wants, and also has the freedom to give more detail.
Yeah.
And probably more effective character building than movies.
That's what usually when I watch a movie, I try to separate myself from the book. But when you love a character so much, it's kind of hard to do that. Like with Ron, I'm kind of nitpicking because he's one of the side, in my opinion, one of the side characters that I don't really care about.
Fair.
But the one character that I really liked in the book was Neville Longbottom, because in the book, he had such more character development and such great feats of bravery that he showed in the book that they didn't show in the movie. Like this one time, again, Draco Malfoy being a jackass, he was talking about how, about people in the Wizarding Hospital in the psych ward, the St. Mungo's, and Neville's parents is in St. Mungo's. Right. And they're being afflicted by curse-based mental, deformities. And so in the movie version, if that happened, he probably would have sulked off and done nothing.
Mm-hmm.
In the book, he straight up attacked Malfoy. So it's that character trait that he had in the book that he didn't have in the movie that I really wish they did, because he was one of my favorite characters in the book.
That's fair. I think I guess it's more of a imagination versus visual, because you can imagine it and it's fine. You can interpret it however you want to interpret it, regardless of what the words say.
Yeah.
But in the movie, especially if it's a kind of a magical kind of, not for children, but definitely some of it can go towards children because it's magic. Woo,
Yeah.
I mean, you can't just have random people punching characters left and right, as funny as that sounds.
It's funny when you talk about children, because I remember seeing the story that the actor Jensen Ackles, he talked about how he never watched or read the Harry Potter books, but he has I think a 6-year-old,
Mm-hmm.
and so they're like, oh, okay, this is a good time to watch Harry Potter, and then he went into the bathroom. It was the scene in the forest, I think, when the Voldemort had was sucking the unicorn's blood. So Jensen Ackles went to the bathroom, and then next thing he knows, his daughter's standing right next to him, and he's just like, "Oh Jesus, what?" And it's like, "There's a really scary man on the TV, Daddy." And he looked, and it was like, "All right," and then he went and looked. Was like, "Oh yeah, this is not right time for her." So yeah, it's funny when people like say like Harry Potter, all these young adult films, because that's the way they are. They're young adult films,
Right, that's a better, yeah. Mm-hmm.
and they think it's for children. And I'm like, no, some kids might be able to handle it, but more often than not, they probably won't, or get very scared at a lot of the parts.
I mean, I'm sure there's some movies in the Harry Potter series that you can't let children watch, like more than others.
Yeah.
But
For the most part, I would say like at earliest 10 years old.
I just remembered. I'm kind of cutting that topic short because I just remembered my sure was it Neffler and Fantastic Beasts. Neffler is a great mythical creature. But I just remembered and I loved it so much. What was it, a snake dragon thing?
Oh yeah, the one that shrink down.
Mm-hmm. The one that can shrink and changes. That's probably my absolute favorite. I'd say that's probably more than Neffler, because I'm thinking like, as we were talking about the last topic, I was thinking through the movies of which movies you can show children, and then I remembered the giant snake scene in the sewers, and then I was like, wait, wasn't there one in Fantastic Beasts? And I'm like, oh, that's right. I honestly loved that mythical creature that they have.
I feel like Fantastic Beasts is more, I guess, appropriate for children.
Well, yeah. I would say that as well because it's in the title, the mythical beast. Fantastic Beast. It's supposed to show more of the mythical creatures of the magic world, which is awesome. Unless it's that one creature. What was it, like a giant rhino thing?
Oh yeah, who wanted to mate with?
That's
with what's his name, Jake?
I think something like that.
Jacob.
Something like that. Yeah. It starts with a J.
Yeah.
I
That was a funny scene though.
But definitely the snake serpent dragon thing. I think it was a serpent, the flying serpent, wasn't it? Something
I think it was
like that.
Part serpent, part something else. It was winged too.
I would just say a winged snake,
Winged
or a winged serpent.
Yeah.
I really like that character.
I'm just thinking, like, I'm just not thinking about their wands. I honestly really don't like Newt Scamander's wand because it's so plain.
Look, it's not the style of the wand, all right? It's how you use it.
It's about the style. Seriously, this is a nice style.
For the sake of the podcast, the weeb just pulled out a Harry Potter wand.
I pulled out Albus Dumbledore's wand.
Yeah.
From Fantastic Beasts. Different from the other wand. It's a nice wand.
For further context, he does have 2 wands.
I have 3 actually.
What a weeb.
Damn straight. So recently there's going to be an HBO Max 20th anniversary where all the old cast and the director, I think from the first 2 movies, or from the third from the third and on movie, not the first 2, the third and on,
Right.
where they're going to come in and just like talk about the behind the scenes and the making of the Harry Potter and their experience with it. Basically, if you watch the Friends reunion, it's that with Harry Potter.
Mm-hmm.
Which finding that out now, I was kind of disappointed because when I first heard about it, they branded it as, oh, new Harry Potter movie coming out. I'm like, well, that's getting my hopes up and then destroying them.
You can't just say, "Oh, we're gonna say it's a new Harry Potter movie," and then not have it be a Harry Potter movie. But you also can't say a new Harry Potter movie when the Harry Potter series is over. I guess we're on to like the Fantastic Beasts series now.
They want to do a movie of the Cursed Child, which it's a play on Broadway, I think.
Yeah, I remember there was a book of the play.
Yeah. Well, it's just like it's literally just the play, right?
Right. But
And
still,
here's the problem why I don't want that is because the Cursed Child sucks. They turn Harry into such a terrible parent.
mm-hmm.
And especially like they make it where, his youngest son Albus gets sorted into Slytherin, and they make it seem like Harry has a problem with that, causing Albus to have, anxiety, depression, because he doesn't think his father loves him, all that kind of. I was like, did you not just like read or watch the epilogue of the last movie where Harry legitimately says, I do not care if you get sorted into Slytherin?
And then starts caring.
Yeah, it's like, that's why I don't like the Cursed Child.
That's fair.
By the way, Cursed Child, not canon. It is a fan-made thing.
You want to say that again just as a reminder? Because I know people will still argue with you about it.
It is not canon.
End
of story.
End of story. It is also not a canon. Just to confuse everyone.
I can
it's
make
not...
a canon out of it, though. That would be the one good use of getting all the books, is making a canon out of it.
You go ahead and start another topic. I'm gonna look up something real quick because I like using my phone in class. I'm gonna look.
Class? Since when?
Is it?
Are we? Who's the teacher? That's another thing. Is like, because I noticed. Well, at least my mom noticed this, and the Hogwarts teachers, they don't have any families.
They don't?
No.
I don't think I ever noticed.
I didn't know. I didn't notice either until me and my mom were talking about how, different kinds of,
Go on.
hair. Different kinds of what's the profession Harry could have gone instead of Auror. Because I'm still in the belief that Harry should not have become an Auror, because he would not want to deal with dark wizards again after Voldemort. So my one of my theories is like, oh, he could be like defense against the dark arts teacher.
Mm-hmm.
And then my mom was like, well, none of the teachers have families. I'm like, shoot, you're right. And that makes sense because, more than, most of their time is at Hogwarts.
True.
Because they're only gone for summer's 2-3 months.
Something like that.
And the rest of the time they're at Hogwarts. So I was like, oh, that does make sense.
Kind of goes back to the elementary school mindset of, did the teachers live at school?
I think they do. I think Hogwarts teachers live at school full time.
When you have magic, you could just hocus pocus a separate room for yourself. Or you could hocus pocus the door, open it to your actual house or room.
True.
And as soon as you enter it and close the door, it changes back to normal. So
I'm thinking if Harry
legally illegal.
If Harry did get defense against the dark arts teacher, I feel like his family would live in Hogsmeade,
and
he would just commute back and forth. Commute.
You just teleport.
Well, you can't.
Is it called?
You can't apparate in Hogwarts.
Oh right. Is it called? Was it called teleporting?
Apparition.
That's what it was. That's another thing I liked about Fantastic Beasts is they kind of introduced that whole thing.
Well, they used it more
Yeah.
because they can. Because 90% of Harry Potter took place at Hogwarts, which is one of the one places you can't do that.
True. I'll be doing that though. I'm a troublemaker. I'll be the quote unquote teacher's pet just so I can apparition everywhere. I'm gonna just say teleport. I don't remember the word.
Apparate.
That too.
So what was you looking up?
So I don't know if this has been announced already.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, when I first saw this, obviously I didn't know because I got excited. There is going to be a third movie to Fantastic Beasts. Beats? Harry Potter at a rave. Fantastic Beasts.
Harry Potter and the Rave.
Harry Potter.
Yeah,
Harry Potter and the Goblet of Raves.
Isn't there going to be 5 movies?
I think so. But the third one, Fantastic Beasts: The Secrets of Dumbledore, comes out April 15th, 2022. And again, I don't know if this is announced like prior to present day, because I obviously haven't heard about it, and I really got excited when I saw it. Was it?
Well, I think the title was announced recently. When the first movie came out, J.K. Rowling said that she wanted to do 5 movies. I don't know if that's still the plan. They'll probably have to see how this third one goes, because there's the controversy with J.K. Rowling going on,
right?
And then there's the whole thing with Johnny Depp going on. So it's like, depending on how well the third movie does, it might impact future movies. Because if a lot of people don't watch it, personally, I don't think I'm going to watch it, at least not in theaters. Then that might impact future movies.
That's fair, but in the same respects, as we said earlier in the podcast, hate the author, not the movie.
I hate the studio.
It's like the phrase, what is it? Hate the player, not the game. Kind of that same sense.
The issue I don't really have an issue with the author. Well, I do kind of, but not to such an extent that I would not watch a movie I was previously excited for.
Right.
It's the studio and how they treat their actors. And at that point, it's like, I don't really, because when you do, when you go to watch the movie, you're kind of you're partly supporting the author, mostly supporting the studio because they make the most money.
Right.
So in that sense, I'm like, I don't really want to support the studio because they treat their actors like crap. Like, it's not just Johnny Depp that Warner Brothers treat terribly. A lot of actors have come out and said, oh, we've had a really terrible time and a lot of misconduct from the studio,
right,
in their experiences. And I'm like, why would I want to keep watching their movies if they treat people terrible?
Because it's the unfortunate scenario of just because this and that happens doesn't mean you're not a fan still, and doesn't mean you won't still buy it and or watch it.
Oh, I won't buy it. I'm just gonna watch it illegally.
Yeah, but either way, you're not gonna not do anything with it or about it. You're still gonna watch the movie. You're still gonna pay to watch the movie.
Oh, I ain't paying for shit.
Can't just walk into a movie theater without paying to watch a movie that you don't want to pay for, but you also want to watch, you weeb.
Well, I ain't going to the movie theater. I'm gonna watch it illegally on the internet.
Be a magical pirate.
Technically, me pirating a movie isn't illegal because I'm not. It's illegal to distribute a movie illegally.
True.
But it's not illegal to find. Oh, website, I can watch it.
As long as the website's trustworthy.
So, honestly, all the websites I used to use have been taken down. So
it's not a good sign.
It's hard to find a good website nowadays.
Fair. Also, magic pirates. Imagine
Pretty sure
pirates
that's
using
an
magic.
anime. I mean, technically, One Piece, they do have some form of magic.
Right, but I'm speaking more in terms of the topic of Harry Potter like magic. Just imagine a bunch of pirates on the open water. There's another ship. Wave your wands, and the cannonball just fires out of the wand. Ready, aim, fire, boom.
Harry Potter and the Magical Pirates.
Yeah, I'd watch it.
I watch it.
Harry Potter. Harry Potter joins the military.
Harry Potter is the military.
Commander, we're losing this war. Bring out bring out the secret weapon, HP.
Is
You
Harry
don't mean.
Is Harry Potter Jason Bourne now?
Yeah, I'd watch that too.
Yo, Harry Potter Jason Bourne.
Or just Jason Bourne with a magic wand.
Bro, he would kill everybody. Man.
We need to find a way to contact Jason Bourne. Sir, he just appeared behind you. Oh, what the heck?
You said his name 3 times.
It's like Bloody Mary. Just stand in front of the mirror in the dark. Jason Bourne, Jason Bourne, Jason Bourne. You answer your phone. I'm coming for you. Oh,
You look tired.
you look tired. Yeah, exactly. You look tired. You should sleep better. You just started looking around. I'm in the bathroom. Now you look stressed.
Then you open the door and there he is. It's like, what's up?
What's up, man? It's a one-way door. I can see through it. You can't see through it, but it's still a door.
Bye now.
I feel like a bunch of scenarios. Can you imagine, since we're talking about since we're in the theme of like London, for example,
Right.
can you imagine Sherlock Holmes with magic?
Well, which Sherlock Holmes are we talking? What's rendition? Because like the most famous one, or at least people most remember, is Benedict Cumberbatch's Sherlock, Robert Downey Jr.'s Sherlock, and then there's the original Sherlock from the books.
You know I don't read.
Yeah. Well, to put in perspective, that the one in the books, I think the best rendition that's the closest to the books is Robert Downey Jr.
Fair. I mean, he is.
I would like to see Robert Downey Jr.'s Sherlock with magic, because I think he would make it fun, he'd make it entertaining. Benedict Cumberbatch, I love him as an actor, I love him as a person.
Mm-hmm.
I do not like him as Sherlock. I do not like his portrayal as Sherlock, mainly because they turned him into a drug-addicted, narcissistic a-hole.
Fair.
Which he's not really like that in the, like, again, it's me trying to separate the books from the movie, but can't because I love the character so much that, you know, he in the books he's very, you know, he recognizes when he's wrong, he recognizes when he's overstepped a social misconduct,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and there's this times when I'm watching Sherlock and I'm just like, this doesn't feel like Sherlock Holmes.
That's fair.
Also, I don't like John Watson in Sherlock either. Like, no offense to Martin Freeman, he's a great actor, but he didn't do anything in the whole series. Like, that's not even me comparing him to John Watson in the books. He just didn't do nothing.
Yo, let's be fair though. He did nothing in the series. If he did nothing in the series, he still got paid for that though.
He still got paid for it. That's smart.
That's how you be a side. That's how you become a second main / side character. You do nothing, but you're still part of the story.
Still get that paycheck.
Exactly. That's how it's done. Plus, like the easiest role ever. You know, if you don't gotta do much, you don't gotta remember much. So it's more of just the acting part, if anything.
What house do you think Sherlock Holmes would be in? Do you think he would be in Slytherin or Ravenclaw?
Sherlock Holmes?
Yeah.
Again, which one? Robert
Robert Downey
or
Jr.
the drug addict?
Robert Downey Jr. I would say would be in Ravenclaw. And I would say Benedict Cumberbatch's would be in Slytherin.
Which one was Ravenclaw again? Ravenclaw was
Intelligence and wisdom.
Oh, okay. Right, I'm thinking of Gryffindor.
I mean, he does have a bravery streak.
Is it who Robert? Is it bravery though? Is this character brave or is he just
I think jumping off a cliff is pretty brave.
again? Is it though, or is it
To
more
save
of
somebody
a?
else.
Eh, okay, in that scenario, sure. But like his other, like say his Iron Man personality, for example, is it really
Well,
bravery?
Iron Man. Well, I would say Tony Stark in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, he is yes, he's very brave. In the
Right.
comics, he's a dick, but that's neither near nor here.
What's the difference between braviary? I got Pokemon
Bravery,
on the mind.
bravery.
I got Pokemon on the mind. What's the difference between bravery and egotism? Like, are you brave enough to do it, or do you just want to do it so it makes you look good that you're doing something good?
Well, it's different sides of the spectrum on bravery.
Depends on how
Because bravery, because another part of Gryffindor, I think, is also selflessness.
fair.
So it's the selfless bravery where you put yourself in the situation for others.
No,
That's what makes you
yeah.
Gryffindor. And in that sense, yeah, Tony Stark in the MCU is very brave because he does that many times.
Mm-hmm.
But in the comics, he's a little less like that. As the last segment, well, in light of the new Pearl and Diamond remakes, we're going to sort the starters into their houses.
Pearl and Diamond. Of of all the years I've ever played Pokemon, I don't think I've ever heard anyone say the names backwards.
Hey.
Sure, there's no right way to say it,
Hey, I bought Pearl, so
and I bought both, but three of my other friends bought Diamond. Where's
Hey.
your argument? Where's your defense?
I'm the one talking.
I'm talking too.
I talked first.
I talked first, secondly.
This is my microphone.
This is my setup.
This is my idea,
And you agreed to have me on here. So,
and that was my mistake.
exactly. So,
All
what
right.
were we doing?
All right, so we're going to start the starter. Should we do it like each of their evolutionary line, or just like as a whole?
You mean each stage or like the
Yeah, so like if we do like one Chimchar,
We could
and
do-
then Monferno.
Here's what we could do. We could have the basic stages: Chimchar, Turtwig, Piplup. We
Yeah.
have them in a house, and then have a fully evolved form. Maybe they change houses as they
Right.
got, or as they evolved. Maybe they don't.
All right, so I'll start with Piplup since that's your favorite.
Sure.
Throw you a bone.
Piplup. Let's see.
I feel like Piplup is straight Hufflepuff.
Yeah, especially if we're looking at Piplup during the Diamond and Pearl series.
Yeah.
Piplup was very loyal to Dawn, and overall just a great, like comedic Pokemon.
Yeah. Definitely wasn't cunning.
No,
Um,
there has been many episodes where Piplup tried to pick up the ladies and it did not work.
and did not work at all. And
Intelligence,
intelligence, no.
nah.
No.
I mean, he has. I mean, every Pokemon has their moments, but intelligence,
Yeah, but on a whole,
nah,
so yeah, I'd say Hufflepuff. It's Piplup.
definitely.
It had a little bit of moments of bravery, but overall, it was mostly loyal.
I would say out of Chimchar and Turtwig, I would say Chimchar has a bet. Not that Chimchar is Slytherin, but I think he has a better chance of being Slytherin.
I would say so because Chimchar as a whole is very mischievous
Mhm.
and very cunning. So I would say yeah, Chimchar is Slytherin, and I would say Turtwig. I would also put him in Hufflepuff.
But if we had to eliminate those two because we chose them already, there's Ravenclaw and Gryffindor.
Well, he's more Gryffindor than he is Ravenclaw.
Fair. Now, if they evolved, would they change? Would they stay the same?
So the stage twos I feel like would stay the same,
Fair.
and so the fully evolved forms, Infernape I would feel like changed to Gryffindor, because Infernape is less rambunctious and mischievous. Is more of just a fighter, so is more brave, more you know
Ironically, being a fighting type.
yeah. So I feel like Fernie would change from Slytherin to Gryffindor. Um,
I feel like Napoleon would still be Hufflepuff because I feel like he would still have that loyalty, but it would
yeah,
be way more
he'd be,
intense.
he'd be stronger at
Mm-hmm.
keeping the loyalty. So yeah, I feel like he would stay the same. Turtwig as Torterra. He could either stay as Gryffindor or I could see him as a Ravenclaw because he has that, you know, being fully evolved. He has, based on the anime version, he does get learn to work smarter,
Mm,
and because he doesn't have that speed he has, it's Turtwig. Torterra has to, work a lot smarter.
right.
But I guess I still keep him in Gryffindor.
I mean, you could also put him in Ravenclaw for intelligence in terms of he has an ecosystem on his back, so he probably has
Yeah,
the knowledge of keeping the forest healthy, keeping the ecosystem being healthy in general, etc., etc.
true. Also, feel like he's Gryffindor because he does have that natural knack of helping other Pokemon.
As a as the last part, where would we place Ash Ketchum?
Ooh, Ash Ketchum, he's Gryffindor 100%. Look at all the crap he does.
True.
I would say he's either Gryffindor or Hufflepuff. He's one of those two. He ain't smart. Well, he's smart in battle sense,
Right.
but on the terms that Ravenclaw judges intelligence and wisdom on, he ain't there.
No.
He's honestly not that cunning because most of his battle strategy, and all that is through brute force or strange tactics. It's not very cunning, I would say, or ambitious.
Oh, I just remembered an episode in Diamond and Pearl. I think he was going up against Gardenia or some other grass type
Yeah.
trainer, and he was like, "Oh no, was it?" He didn't have Weasel, did he? That was Dawn.
Well, they traded. So in the so Apom, Ash had an Apon who liked contest battles, and
Right.
Buell was much more of a gym battler. So they decided to trade them.
Oh god, now I can't remember straight anymore. Let's just take that for example then for now until I can actually remember what it was. It was like, all right, the gym leader fight against Gardenia. Ash, who's your Pokemon? Oh, I only got one. Go Weasel. And it's just like, what the fuck? Like you can't.
That didn't happen because he didn't. They didn't.
I
Have
said I
Buell
said
yet.
I said as an example because I don't remember the
So
exact scenario.
that's what happened in Black and White.
Oh, you're right.
He
Now
was winning against
that
the
wasn't.
electric type gym, and he threw out Palpitoad.
That's what
It
it
got
was.
destroyed, and he was like, "Oh wait, I'll be right back."
That's what it was. It
That-
wasn't Sinnoh. You're right. You're right.
That's when I lost respect for the Black and White anime, because when that happened, I was like, "What did you do to Ash?" Because honestly, Ash was like top tier in the Sinnoh.
Mm-hmm.
He should have won. If it weren't for that stupid trainer with nothing but legendaries and a freaking Darkrai and Latios,
True.
he would have won the Sinnoh League.
I think Pokemon would be a lot more fun if in the Elite Four, all the members, including the champion, had a legendary.
That would be a lot more fun.
It'd be really awkward, especially trying to explain how they got it, but it'd still be fun.
Well, I mean, in the anime, there's a lot, like, unlike in the games where it's supposed to be like just one
Mm-hmm.
total. In the anime, it's been shown that there's actually many of the legendaries. Because I think in one episode we saw that there's two Lugias, which were also different from the Lugia in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not that much of a stretch to give them legendaries.
No, they're not wrong. Moral of the story: Ash is not smart.
He's not smart. So yeah, I would say Hufflepuff or Gryffindor.
Definitely.
Hufflepuff,
I would lean more towards Hufflepuff because he does have the ambition for loyalty, or the ambition
Also,
to at
like,
least protect.
his whole shtick is being kind to your Pokemon and building relationship and trust with them, which is definitely very Hufflepuff.
Definitely. Agreeable.
So yeah, Ash is Hufflepuff.
I know I said that was the last segment, but I thought of a better last segment.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get. What house would our main man Brock be in?
Oh man, Brock. Oh, yeah. I watching Pokemon recently. I've noticed like it's kind of weird that Brock is constantly trying to get a girl, and his main job or plan in life is to be a breeder.
I mean,
It, it's just it was just kind of funny when I thought about it. I was like, huh, that's kind of interesting that the developers of Pokemon were like, hey, this guy's a breeder. What should we make his comedy sketch? Let's have him propose to every single girl that comes on screen.
so definitely not. Which one was intelligence?
For
Yeah, well,
Ravenclaw.
definitely not Ravenclaw. Well,
Well, no, he has a great deal of intelligence, especially
let's be fair.
caring for Pokemon.
Let's be fair. Yeah, medicine for Pokemon, but he can also cook.
He can cook really good.
Mm-hmm.
I would say he would be. He's either Ravenclaw or Hufflepuff. There's a lot of Hufflepuff going on.
I'm gonna be honest. You could probably respectfully put Brock in any of the houses, even Slytherin, if you
Yeah,
consider it.
He is pretty, ambitious and very. He can be cunning at times.
He's definitely ambitious.
Like,
Let's be honest. He's definitely ambitious.
Also,
Cunning.
there's times like when he gets caught with Team Rocket.
Mm-hmm.
He usually when Ash gets caught, he gets out from brute force. Brock gets out from tricking Team Rocket into letting him go.
True. So definitely cunning. They have the intelligence with cooking and medicine.
He's very loyal to his Pokemon and Ash.
True.
I was kind of upset when he wasn't in Black and White.
Is Brock like the most perfect character in Pokemon? You got someone who's loyal, who can cook, who knows medicine.
How does he not have a girlfriend yet?
I can tell you a couple reasons why.
Well, if he just stopped proposing to every single girl
If he stops being a creep, I think he can land someone.
He gets those episodes where the girl actually is like, "Oh, I like this guy," but he's so oblivious to it, and it's like he starts going off and trying to propose to another girl, and it's like, bro, you got a girl who likes you right there. So yeah, if he just acted like his normal self around girls, he would be fine.
True.
So Brock is the avatar in the Hogwarts houses.
Brock is the chosen one. He's the next heir to the throne of Hogwarts.
That's why he left Ash.
I knew it.
All right, thanks for watching, guys. Make sure you like and subscribe and share with your family and friends. We'll see you next time.
Bye.